Hi guys, today I'm going to tell you about a project I made using my Project Sweetwater subscription box. It comes every 3 months. In the last box we got Christmas fabric from the Sweetwater Moda Christmas card line. And if you're interested in seeing what I did with that, keep watching. Okay guys, so in order for me to put my project together, I find it best to make a sketch. So I have my quilt planner here that I got from Eva B. Makery. And there's a spot in here where you can sketch it all out. So I have the square that's going to be the centerpiece, and I need to decide how I'm going to build around that. So what I've decided is I have the 5-inch squares that I know when I make triangles out of them, this will be about 7 inches. And I know that because a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and Mr. Blinn would be so proud of me. He never knew I was going to be using that 40 years later in a quilt, but here we are. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make what's going to go on the sides, and I want that to be some contrast. So I know I'm going to put the reddest triangles that I have around those edges. So I'm just going to quickly and not very accurately sketch those in. Okay. Jeez Louise. Take it easy on the crayons, Kay. Okay. Like I said, inaccurately, because I apparently cannot follow that line for some reason. Okay, so then I'm just gonna do a really brief, messy fill-in of those. Okay. And I'm going to look for the squares in the charm pack that read as solid of a red as I can get, okay? Because they are prints, so they're not going to be total solids. But I've already gone through and I've made some different ones. So I've got this with the snowflakes. I've got this with the cards. There's this one with the words. And then there's this one with the snowflakes, okay? I could even use this one with, it's kind of like a grungy kind of look. But I think I'm going to go with the more graphic ones. So those are going to be those corners. Okay? And then, what do I have for green? These are the weirdest colors. Okay, this is kind of green. So I don't want this just to be red and white. I know that I want some green in it. So I'm going to make these outer corners here green. So I'm just gonna put those in there. Now I know I'm gonna have to cut these down, right? Because this is a 5, but this is probably gonna be more of like, I don't know, a 3.5. If I wanted to do my math again, I could. But I know that this triangle is going to be half of this triangle, basically. So it's probably going to be about a 3.5. So I'll have to cut these little squares down a little bit. But I'm going to put this green out here. And then I just have to look for the ones that I like the best. So here's one. This is a good one because it's got some red in it. This is a good one. It reads pretty solid. And here's that one, that grungy looking one. I'm going to read that. Another possibility, I could do, oops, this one with the snowflakes. But I would probably not use any of these squares that have the black in them because this project is not going to have any black in it. So I'm not going to put those over here. But so these are my options for my corners. Okay, so I'll set those over here too. So now I have to decide how am I going to link what I have very contrasting here. I have the green, I have the red. I need something that kind of links. I'm just going to write in here, we wish you, and that's how I'll know that's my panel. Okay, so I'll do that really quick. So what I want to do is I want to find some fabric that's not only going to just read, I don't want just white, that's not fun, and I still need to find something to contrast but marry these together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through for the prints that have the red and the green in them. And then I feel that that will kind of show us why those make sense together. Okay? So I'm going to look through here. And again, these will have to be quarter. So I've got this one with some scallops. I have this one with the trees. This doesn't show as much of the green, but there are some greens in there. There's this one with the crosses. There is this one with the snowflakes. This has some green, but that really is more of a red to me, so I won't use that one. This has a tiny, this is black in it actually, so I can't use this one. Okay, so all the rest of them, there's not enough red, I don't think, in that one. And all the rest of them kind of have black in them, so we don't want those. We'll use those for something else. So when I go to mock this up, I will need 8, right? But I don't want to use, I only have 5. I'm not going to use each separate one. I'm just going to pick out the ones I think I like the best. Like, I really like this one. I really like that one. This isn't in there at all, so that could be a really good one. This one's kind of light, so maybe I would choose this. So I would probably choose these 4 and make 2 of those. That way I could still have a half triangle, and I would have 2 small ones. Probably this would have to be my half triangle, and this would be my small ones because there's green in there, right? So then that way I would have a bigger triangle, because I know that later I'm going to make a quilt with the rest of these as the bigger triangles. So I want to leave as many of those out as I can. Okay. So yeah, so that's probably the ones I'm going to use in there. Okay. So now I just want to bring this to about a fat quarter size. one of the fat quarters that we got is this tone on tone, and it's kind of blah. It's the only one really in this collection that I just wasn't into. So I'll probably use this on my back. So I want to I want something that can bring it up to the size of this fat quarter, because it'll be about that size when I get done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this fat quarter into some strips. That's also why I didn't want to use this one, because I wanted to use something that hadn't been in there yet. So I'm going to cut this into strips, and then it won't be really wide. It'll be about just, that'll probably be maybe 2-inch, 1-inch strips. Like I said, that's something that I won't be able to determine until I get the whole middle pieced together, because then I'll have to know how much leeway I have in order to fit my backing on it. But so then we'll put the red. So then that'll kind of wrap it and bring everybody all together in a very Christmassy little door hanging that I can hang up, and nobody will see because nobody comes to my house. But that is how I'm going to put my project together, guys. I love this Project Sweetwater box. I think that there are some really adorable ideas in here that maybe I wouldn't use for Christmas, but I could take that particular concept and then apply it in a different way. There was a card bin, and there was this mat. So there are some really cute ideas in here, again, that don't have to be Christmas specific. For me personally, I just felt like this was going to be my best bet. And then when I do get this done, I'm going to make a sleeve on the back so I can put a dowel, and then I'll hang it, with some twine. So yeah, I will let you know what that looks like as soon as I get that all mocked up. Okay guys, here are all of my fabrics together in a mock-up. I haven't actually cut this fabric. I have just folded it over, so it's not even. When I go to actually cut these strips, what I want to make sure is that I come out with a square and that all sides, all strips are even. I want to make sure that it is not any wider than my fat quarter that I'm going to put on the back. It will be a little bit shorter than my fat quarter, of course, because I'll be putting a square on a rectangle, and that's fine. I'll just have some extra fabric for a future project, and I'm not going to bind this. I'm going to sew these together and then turn it out, and then kind of like a placemat. And so I will bring you back when I have that final product ready for you to see. Okay guys, so I have my completed project here. You can see I got all my little triangles and squares figured out. I did some top stitching around the edge and then some stitching in the ditch for the quilt part. And so it just kind of looks like this on the back. It's not real pretty on the back, but no one sees that. And so, yeah, that's my project from Project Sweetwater. And I hope you enjoyed watching my process. And let me know below, what projects do you have in the works for Christmas? I'll see you next time.